Okay, welcome to one of my little talks. My name is Mark Marshall from Sandula Conservation. Now I'm going to be talking about something where we like to hold, but it's a bit slippery. It's got wet skin, it's got a very, very big mouth, and it jumps around and makes us get a little bit of a fright because a lot of people are a bit scared of them. I'm talking about frogs and toads. Now, there's a couple myths about these guys. If you hold them and they wee on you or urinate on you, everyone says, oh no, I'm going to get warts or I'm going to get a skin disease or something like that. That is a load of nonsense. They only do that as defense. So these little guys will do it on you and you'll go, oh no, you'll drop them and they'll hop away. They have achieved what they wanted to achieve. A lot of people want to keep them as pets, and then they go, give them a little water bowl, and they say, why is my little frog sitting in the water bowl all the time? That is because your little frog is dependent on water. He loves water. In fact, he needs it to survive. So when he's sitting in the water, he's actually drinking. They don't drink through their mouths, they absorb through their skin. So that's why when you see a frog that's all dried up, he hasn't been around water for a while, popping in some water, and he'll start drinking through his skin and swell up all nicely again. Now, the difference between frogs and toads. Everyone thinks they're the same thing, but they're very, very different. Okay. Frogs, they jump. Toads can't jump. Toads only hop. All right. Frogs cannot walk very well. Toads can actually walk. They can get up and walk. If you look at a frog, they're always shiny. They've got very slick little skin, slippery skin. Toads have got bumpy, warty, dry skin. All right. That's the main difference. Toads also, they don't need water as much as frogs. The only time they really want water is for when they breed. Now, a lot of toads are called explosive breeders. In other words, these guys will sit waiting, sleeping under the sand for months and months at a time. Then good rains come, and all of a sudden, every toad in the neighborhood gets up, starts hopping or walking all the way to the nearest pond, and you'll get thousands of frogs all over the road and everywhere. That is because they got one thing on their mind, and that is to mate and reproduce for hundreds and thousands of tadpoles and make their species carry on. That's the cycle of the toad. Frogs are not like that. They actually want to sit permanently around a water area, chirp all night, and they have their tadpoles all year round. They do all their thing like that. So that's the main difference behaviorally between them. Now, how big do they get? Some toads are massive. Now, the giant African bullfrog, that's actually a toad, but it's called a frog. So, toads can be frogs and frogs can't be toads. That's the golden rule with them. So sometimes you'll get a big, big bullfrog. You can't actually call it an African bull toad. It sounds terrible. So that's why they call it African bullfrog. It's a very, very large frog, okay, and can give you a bite too. So frogs don't really want to attack you ever. If you go to a pond, they'll actually jump in the water and swim away as fast as they can. They don't like to be held. They don't like people too much, all right? But the nice thing why we actually need these guys around is because they are environmental indicators. In other words, how do you know if your environment is good or bad? Easy. Go at nighttime to the pond in that area. If the pond has got so many frogs chirping around, singing away, then you know, whoa, this is a very, very healthy environment because these guys are living there and they're happy. If you go to a pond at night and there's not a single frog or toad around, you know that water is polluted and it's a bad environment. Because frogs are the first things to go. When something bad happens to the water, they absorb it through their skin and they get poisoned and die. And that's why they only survive on the healthy, healthy water. Okay, now frogs, how do they survive drought? Now that is strange. Frogs often burrow underground. They do what is called aestivation, which means they go into a semi-comatose state where they'll sleep underground for months at a time, waiting until the next water comes up. And when it comes up, boom, they are there like crazy. If you ever made a pond in your yard and all of a sudden you hear a frog chirping there, he knows it's there. He's found it. Okay, so what I'm saying is make ponds in your garden, make lovely little areas for little frogs. Make sure that they are there, they love it, and they are good for us because environmental indicators. And secondly, they get rid of all the little mosquitoes and all those little things too because they love little insects. Hope you enjoyed this. Please log on to sandulaconservation.co.za or Sandula Conservation Facebook. Thanks.